Oh god. Oh god, don't fall. Don't fall. I really need a new mini tripod because this thing is always, you put a camera on it and anyway. So last night I watched After Yang, and I remember like initially I saw some people kind of like post about it, and I'm kind of like, okay, I was like, oh, Colin Farrell's in some kind of movie, and like when you're just judging by images alone, you're just kind of like, all right, like that kind of thing. Then I saw that it was like an A24 movie, and it's like, all right, well, I guess I have to put this one on the list. It's fucking A24. If you don't watch every A24 movie, then like, how are you a film bro? Anyway, so I was like, all right. Then I saw like an interview with Colin Farrell, and he was saying how like, the movie's kind of futuristic without being futuristic, that kind of thing, which is totally fine. And he even said that, like, he was so absorbed, like, he was so, like, when he was reading the script, he was just, like, so, like, oh my god, and reading it, that, like, like, he's like, I have to do this movie. And I'm like, alright, cool, man, let's see, because this came out, like, the same day as the Batman, so it's like, you got two Colin Farrell movies. This one's definitely a lot shorter than the Batman, and it's funny, because it's kind of like, it's A24, it's kind of like, it's one of those movies where it's like the journey rather than the destination kind of thing. Slow burn kind of movies. So this could have been like a 3-hour movie if it fucking wanted to. I mean, I'm glad it's not, because if it was, then I just probably would have been like, fuck it. But no, I did enjoy it. I really enjoyed this movie. I actually did. I really, really liked this movie. Yeah, so this movie, I guess before I go into spoilers, it's called After Yang because the family, it's 4 people. It's Colin Farrell. The woman plays the wife. She was Queen and Queen and Slim. Little girl, and then this Asian dude who is a robot, like an android, a whatever you want to call it, a non-human. Um, and so it's called After Yang because his name is Yang, is because you know he's done. So one day he couldn't boot up or whatever not, and so the movie is just Colin Farrell just trying to like fix this thing for his kid, and of course, this isn't spoilers, it's just like any kind of electronic, people are just like, well, dude, just get a new one, that kind of thing, or like, but it's for, look, the kid is very young, like the kid is like, I don't know, like 7, I don't know, like, how old are children nowadays? They're children, just, anyway, they're like very, like petite little, like plop of a child, so like that would just crush the kid, and it's, yeah, at the same time it's like, kids gotta learn, blah blah blah, but it's already like the kid's learning enough as is, because the kid is understanding death with what's going on, like understanding that there's death and all that shit, and just trying to cope. So as heartless as I am, even I'm just like, yeah, maybe so like there's enough. Let's give them a couple more years before you really start ruining, their lives. And then really, like, them being like, oh god, no, life, like, wait till they're in the midst of puberty before you drop the ball on, like, on more things. To just be like, honey, just letting you know, life is a disappointment, right? Anyway, so, yeah, so that's the whole movie, in general. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. It's very pretty, it's shot very well. I've never heard of this director before. Apparently he's very, like, people are like, oh my god, it's that guy, kind of thing. And I looked on his, like, thingamabobber, and he's mainly, like, this is his second movie. But he's mainly done, like, those, I was about to say web series, that's terrible. He's mainly done, like, film docs, like, this movie's about, like Kubrick stuff, and this movie's, like that kind of, like, movie doc kind of stuff. So it's like, okay, he definitely knows and loves film, and, like, has, like, such a like, a array, a stack of, docs that he's done. So yeah, yeah, like I said, like it is in the future, but it's not like it's not too, I don't know, I don't want to say like it's too much, like it's too futuristic, but it's like it's never like nothing's like floating. Whenever like something is futuristic, it's like here's your cup, and it just like there's no like random drones. I just dropped some pills, lovely. There's not like random drones flying around, what I mean? There's that doesn't happen. I don't know, like things seem more grounded. Things seem more like realistic, even though we do have like a very full body, very human looking robot thing. Like I was kind of like in my head when I was watching this. I'm like, this is kind of like Ex Machina. Besides the factor of, hey, I built a robot, can you fuck it, kind of thing. But like, obviously, if you dial that back, and instead of it being like I fell in love with a robot, it's like I love this robot. It is family, and now I'm just going to cry the rest of the time because I don't have my robot friend, kind of thing. But not in an AI kind of thing where it's like death and destruction has come to the land of man and da 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 because they don't know what they're doing. Also, to Haley Joel Osment, and then crying happens because like I found your mother's hair on a hairbrush and I brought her back. God, that end of the movie pissed me off. Anyway, damn it, Spielberg! That's not what Kubrick wanted. Anyway, this movie's very like lush and green. It's very like, oh, like a good future, because all other ones, obviously everything's very dystopian, where it's just like everything's flooded, or like, it's just sand, or, it's like, it's just like, it's like, LA on its like worst day with the smog, like that kind of shit. It's like, ah, fuck. But this one, it's like, it's so pretty and green and lush and da 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 and all that stuff, but it's not like alien plants like Annihilation going on. I need to like step away from the Alex Garland world for this one because it's not that. But anyway, let me go into spoilers because I can't really go into the movie more with the anyway. 1, 2, 3 spoilers. So, about the futuristic thing. So they do travel in a car, but no one's ever driving. But it's not a hover car, and you never really see like the outside, like in the movie Upgrade. You know how it's like, oh, it's a self-driving like vehicle thing on a track or whatever, and you're just kind of like, you see the outside of it, and like the what's his name, not Tom Hardy guy, Logan Marshall Green, is just kind of like uncomfortable, all that stuff. This one is like they're in a car, and it's not like how regular four-seaters are because we're facing out because we're driving, but it's like they kind of like face each other, but you never really, what I mean, like everyone's just kind of sitting there, and you always see like the person and then like whatever's in the back. So kind of like in the in the original Blade Runner movie when they're in that tunnel in LA, and in that kind of thing, it just always seems like they're going through like somewhere, and that's how they travel, besides walking and all that stuff. And it's never just like I'm on a bike, or like where it's like too futuristic and like too much reliance on like CGI and wires kind of thing. I really like that I like the idea of that. Also, people's clothing was very like you could just tell that the fabrics were different, if that makes any sense. I was reading like I think IMDb or something, and it said that the person who did like the wardrobe like made sure nothing had like man-made, so it's all like cotton and stuff, and there was no like polyester or poly whatever, like crap in it. So I was like, okay, because I'm like looking at him, just like some of the clothes, it's like, all right, whatever, and then some of the other clothes, you're just like, something, just the way how the light hits it, you're like, this seems like, huh, I don't know, just like weird little things I noticed. But anyway, like about the movie itself. Now I'm just going on with just random things about this is futuristic. God, my allergies, fucking hell. It is April, so this is just gonna get getting worse and worse. So, anywho, But okay, yes. So yes, Yang one day is not able to wake up. Obviously, the little girl is very upset. Understandable. The dad is like, all right, let me go and get him fixed. You find out that okay, they bought him secondhand, and they're like, oh, okay, that's strange. Da da. So you didn't buy from manufacturer themselves, okay, but it was certified refurbished, like that kind of shit, which is like I bought something one time refurbished, and then, well, it later got stolen, so I guess never mind. Whatever happened to that thing? It was stolen, so it doesn't matter. Like, never mind. I don't have a point to my experience with refurbished things. It worked, and then it was stolen, so nothing ever broke. Um, anyway, so they're like trying to fix them. Da da da. Turns out there's no way to fix them, sadly. But like it's so quick that I said that. But like in the movie, it's like a slow pace of that, but not in a way of like get on with it. But it's just like, again, it's like the journey more than destination. You're just kind of like going through these motions with the experiences with the dad, with the family, about the fact that yes, it's their adoptive like Asian child who is. They have to specify that the child is Chinese, probably because in the future population stuff, and it's a little Asian girl, so you know. And then Yang, the reason why they got him is because like having like a Chinese bot to kind of like give her like I guess like a more like so she can learn like her background, all that stuff, because having like a white Irish and black mom, like they're like they're like we could just be like reading a book to you, but like I guess having like a companion being like teaching her words and all that stuff, like I mean, fine, sure, whatever, yeah. But so then like the repair shop guy is like, oh man, I knew these were surveillance bots, because there's got to be someone in these, and anything from now until forever, there's always got to be someone to be like, I knew it, brother. That kind of person in there. They're like, this is surveillance. Like, turns out like it's his memory bank thingy, and Colin Farrell's able to kind of like go through the guy's memory banks with like pretty much like it's just sunglasses he puts on. He's just sitting on the couch, and it's very much like in that episode of Black Mirror where they have like the contact lens. They're able to go like fast forward all that shit, do all that stuff. And so he's going through like through the memories, and so far like initially it's like stuff that obviously duh, where it's like, yeah, the day they took a photo, and like, oh, when they're doing this and all this other stuff. And then it starts going into like stuff like, who's this girl? Like, okay, I guess when she's at school and everyone else is at work or something, he's free to roam and do whatever. And it's like, did he have a relationship with someone? And it's like, but he's blah, 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 but he's like this android non-human thing, like, okay, and again, this does not go into the Alex Garland territory of can you fuck it kind of thing. It's just kind of like a kind of stuff. And then Colin Farrell finds the woman that it's in like his memories, and then you learn like you learn the background more, and then and then you further learn that like the family who previously had him, that he was refurbished for, also didn't get him new, and he was also previously refurbished from X. And you learn that he had like this whole life with it's like all this stuff, and you're just like, man, this fucking android has lived a better life than my ass. Whatchamacallit, and it's just, again, I'm not describing it well, because it's hard to just describe like it's hard for me to describe my feelings, but that's what it is. It's like the movie is just like the feel of it, like the vibe, the energy, whatever words you want to use to describe like the groove of it. I don't know, like it just I really enjoyed it. It was like like besides again like having someone so young understanding like mortality and stuff like that, but then you're having the adults, like the parents understanding, not understanding, but questioning like an afterlife kind of thing, like because like you'll with the memory stuff, it'll be kind of in a sense a flashback thing between conversations that they've had, because like a lot of it initially was Colin Farrell looking through the stuff, but then when he spoke to his wife about it, then she's looking at it and looking at memories of her and Yang, and a lot of those conversations where they're just it's just simple stuff that they're talking about, and then it gets kind of existential immediately, but not like in a whoa kind of thing. But you know, as some as someone who's also an android, but like as someone who is an android who is programmed a certain way to like speak to a child like this, speak to an adult like this. So you know, a lot of times in these movies that tends to happen anyway. When like, but it's not even like a I will question it like this to give you an existential crisis. It's just simply like someone or something asking why, or like, if you do this, then how can I? You know, it's pretty much questioning why, and then you as the human adult are just like, why do I think this? You know, like then you're like, oh my god. And again, it's done so well and so pretty, and then so there's like a museum expert lady who's like, hey, we can't, like, it pretty much it's concluded that they're not able to fix him, you know, and like, you know, they have to tell the little girl, and you know, she has to come to fuck. Sorry, has to come to terms with it. You know, there's a lot of that happening, and it's like, you know, it's kind of like, God, it sucks. But the expert lady in the museum is like, hey, like as like an exhibit or something, it's like we can kind of have his memories on display, but by your choice which memories, you know, as like an archive thing for others to share, and da da da. And it's like, okay, and I think you know, they decide to do all that. And it's just kind of like, again, like me describing it sounds so boring, but it's like, it's not, you know. Oh god, it just feels like dust is all over me, but it's not. Jesus, oh my god, I love it, I love it. And it was raining today. It shouldn't be like this. But other than that, oh wait, fuck, I was wearing this outside yesterday, and I was doing landscaping, so there's grass stuff on. That's why I'm extra awesome. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Oh, the opening scene for this movie, like, I feel like that's how, like, to just the opening scene is like, again, it's futuristic, and they're all just suddenly like in these kind of tracksuits, and then they start doing like a dance number, and it's supposed to be against these like other, you know, families, and then it's literally like, it's so cute. It's all choreographed, and they're all like, and it's like, it's, oh my god, I'm like watching, I'm like, what am I like? I heard this movie was gonna be like one of those like pretty artsy movies. What the fuck is this? Like, it's like if I did like a pretty artsy movie where it's like, yeah, it's pretty artsy, but you gotta put something like weird in it, because it's like, I gotta, you know. I love that. And then when I was done watching the movie, someone on Tumblr had like just the beginning part, like just that dance part, and I rewatched it and noticed that like the other families that are dancing there weren't just like random people. They were the other people in the movie. Like, oh, it's, what's his name, who Cliff, I was about to say Cliff Cliffenstein, Cliff Collins, whatever, the guy who was in Pacific Rim and Boondock Saints, that guy. You see, like, it's a Colin Farrell's family, then you see his family, then it's like the girl that Yang had a relationship, like, that girl is there, and then her family, the repair guy and his family, the museum lady and her family, and I noticed it. I was like, oh shit, like, I was like, oh my god, it makes it even better, you know, because then you realize like everyone just gets together on that Friday night and they just start going into like a day. I thought that was really cute. And to do that, and then like this movie goes into like this beautiful slow burn of just like experiencing this thing with everyone, you know. I do like the phone call stuff where it's obvious, like they just show, like, you know, the characters will just talk to the camera kind of stuff, and you don't have to see like, here's like the After Effect floating like in front of me here, like the After Effect floating image of the person, like in those the fucking rom-com I watched when I called it the iCarly technology, you know. They didn't have to do that. It was just like, show the da-da-da, you know, they're speaking to them, make it like, you know, a little bit lighter, maybe kind of gray it out a bit. Okay, you're talking to someone. It's so much simpler than like, hold on, we got After Effects this thing and track it and do all this stuff. But yeah, like, I really like this movie. I'm glad, you know, like, I get to see, like, I get to see movies like this that aren't just like, that do this, because I obviously watch a lot of movies, and sometimes I'll like look on my list and I'll be like, whether it's a current one or an old one or whatever, or an acclaimed or whatever that's like on everyone's list movie, and you're like, this movie is 4 hours long, you know, like, I recently watched like the 4 hour Cleopatra movie. Mind you, it was very pretty, but there was a certain point where I was like, did this have to be 4 hours? You know, there's some days with movies like that, I kind of want to pull like a Topher Grace and like recut some of these movies, you know. Just feel like this movie did not need to be 4 hours long. I mean, again, the movie was pretty and it was great. But anyway, about After Yang, I really enjoyed it. It's really nice. And, oh my god, I'm itchy. I'm itchy. It's, and the cops are after me. Oh god, here we go again. But yes, that's all I have to say. It's really good. And, you know, we should all have, like, dance offs with other families. I think that'd be great, you know.